What a privilege to have you, Mr. Banabas Marambire. Thank you so much for coming to the show. You are most welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yes,
Thank you
sir.
for having me.
Thank you so much. You know what? I'm very passionate about financial wellness and making money and teaching people how to make money. So when I have people like you who have practical experience of starting from nothing to something that is, that causes people to say, wow, let me learn. It's quite inspiring, and I'm very grateful that you took your time to come to the show and talk to the audiences. So please feel free. I know your story is very captivating. Feel free to tell our viewers, it's Banabas Marambire.
Thank you, Mr. Dr. Wilbert.
Yes,
This is a story which has been told over and over. Some they believe it, some they don't believe it, some they say you are now just adding sugar for it to taste nice. But what I would like to emphasize on is the moral background, or the meaning of sharing the story honestly is to try to help some people who could be in the same situation.
right.
Is try to give hope and faith to people who could be in the same situation, that everything is possible.
That's right.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful stuff.
So, no, sorry, there were, you know how it is working from home. There was some interference.
Those are the challenges of working from home. Don't worry, my brother.
My son was actually coming to me. All right,
No problem.
I will take some time, if you may allow me, to just narrate a little bit where I come from and where we are right now.
That's what we want to hear. That's what the viewers want to hear.
All right. Yes, okay. Today you are talking to a young man who, actually, I would say a village boy from a very remote area where I grew up. Unfortunately, what happened is I was starting my secondary education. Both of my parents passed away. And, we are a family of 8. I don't know for what reasons. My relatives, they come and pick other children. And I found myself left alone at home in a rural setup. You know how our parents used to build the rural compound. You'd find there are so many houses.
Right.
There's a kitchen there, what do you call it, matura, or shed, and all other houses. In all that compound to be left alone and still continuing going to school. I think I was doing my Form 1.
Right.
So yeah, the journey was never be easy. Trying to support yourself, doing all the work at home alone, fetching water, firewood, cooking for yourself, cleaning the houses, studying, and going to school. So yeah, it was not easy. And I thank God that I managed to stay determined and finish my secondary education.
Wow.
Unfortunately, after finishing my secondary education, where I got 5 subjects, which were enough to take me to a college or advanced level, there was no fees. There was no one to pay for the tuition fees. So I was now left wondering to look for employment. And the first job that I got, I was hired in a farm. We were clearing a farm, like debushing, prepare the land for plowing. That was the first job I did. And I only worked for a month. We got our payment. We were supposed to carry on after, because it was in December. We were supposed to carry on after the holiday Christmas. Then I decided not to go back. I started ordering agriculture products from an irrigation and selling them far away at some shopping center. I did that until I got my passport. And then when we were collecting our passports, we were just gathering outside the offices. But then I was just a small boy. I was about 19 years old.
Okay.
So we were seated there and discussing, listening to others talking. This man was saying there are job opportunities in Botswana, and the economy it's very good there. So I decided to say no. Let me also go there to look for employment. But now, to link or to find someone who will take me there was a challenge. I then overheard that some of my relatives were crossing trading to Botswana. I went there. But now to get someone who would volunteer to accept me or to go with me, so it was a challenge again.
Yeah.
Until one nephew is now late, my aunt's son, who said, actually, let's go together. But you know what the funny story about it? It's not that he wanted to go with me. He didn't have money for transport to go there. So I had to sponsor his journey.
So he leveraged on you.
And he told exactly.
Life.
So he actually said, no, let's go together. There's a job there. I got a contact. He's going to hire you to work in the garage. I was like, wow, now my dream is what is coming true. Then we went together.
Right.
Upon arriving there, he told me that the contact is lost, and he collected his money from the people who owed him. He was ready to go back to Zimbabwe. So I said, no, I can't go. I just arrived here. And it was during the time of cyclone, and it was raining. So when I said, no, I can't go back, he then assisted me. I was hired by another man as a Herdboy to look after his cattle. You know, that day I saw all my dreams shattered, and I was like, really? Is this where I am now? But believe you me, I never give up. I remember as I was doing my job, people would come to that home. They were selling shake. They were selling beer at that home. So people used to come. And I would interact with some of the guys who were coming to drink beer there, telling them that one day I will run my company. I want to register a company. And honestly, one day you will see. You know, they used to laugh at me, even mocking me. I remember another guy said, no, for you, because I had said, one day you see me on TV, you see, read me in newspapers.
Right.
So I said, no, for you, with your status to come on those platforms, you could have been done something terrible, criminally, where you would be in one. I was like, really?
Hey, they really
But
doubted.
you know, God is very amazing. So I did my job wholeheartedly, looked after cattle, developed some garden, doing all the job you can think of at home.
Wow.
Until when I was a little bit jacked up, I think I was 22 years, somewhere around there. I left and I started staying alone, and I got hired in a construction company. It was a Chinese company. Luckily, I was hired as the Dakabo to assist the builders.
You were mixing the mortar.
Yeah, Dakabo is
that was my first job. That was my first job after A level.
No, at least somewhere we share a common knowledge.
Yeah, definitely.
So but in all these events, I don't know. I never gave up.
Okay, you never gave up.
I could feel too strong that no, I belong somewhere, not what I'm doing now. So I kept on saying what I did. Even the first time I started looking after cattle, my salary was somewhere around 150 pula. That is almost equivalent to $15. So I was saving money. The time I got hired in a construction company, the money was a little bit better. It was around 375, and then I kept saving money. Wow. I remember we didn't work for a long time in that company because we didn't have permits. So one time the soldiers come doing their thing, and we were offloaded. The company actually had to let us go. So I then started working alone and doing these jobs in the construction industry. That's where I gained knowledge. That's where I gained exposure, until I had enough money to register my own company. And I started running that company until I felt like, no, I think it's time for me to go back home. I come to Zimbabwe, I register a company. Then we kept on doing the same thing that we were doing in Botswana. And, you know, the company started growing, started with the 1 employee, 2 employees, 12 employees, to reach as much as 260 with the 1 truck.
Wow.
And they improved it to be so many trucks, a fleet of trucks. And
wow.
In other words, I would say in a period of about 5 years, we were recognized. We won awards on several platforms in our country in Zimbabwe. The Minister of Youth actually identified us, and we're now interacting with big people, going to meet His Excellency, the President, and other cabinet ministers, starting flying around the country, trying to invest in other countries. I remember last year we were so lucky. There's a competition, African Entrepreneur under Jack Ma's Foundation. We participated in that competition, and it was done at a continental level within Africa. And we qualified in the semi-finals. So in November, we went to Ghana, representing the company, where we meet the big guys. The other distinguished people who were in the meeting is His Excellency, the President of Ghana, other ministers from Togo, Ban Ki-moon was there, Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba, was there, Strive Masiwa. And actually, I'm very happy because I had an opportunity to greet and speak with Strive Masiwa. I really follow him up. It's more like a mentor to me. So it was actually, and then now, you know what, as I was seated in the war, I started thinking that I'm the young boy from the village who started looking after cattle and working as a dagger boy. And then now start his own company. And then look where we are now. It's really amazing. That's the results of determination and believing, the power of believing in yourself.
Wow. That's amazing. So somebody might want to know, do you remember around which year you came to work in Botswana?
That was 2000.
2000. Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And I stayed in Botswana for 11 years. I stayed in Botswana from 2000 up to 2011. That's when I returned back to Zimbabwe.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. That kind of dedication is amazing, my brother. And you know, I follow your writings on your Facebook page, some practical stuff that can help anybody, and it's very simplified. It's amazing when somebody follows your story.
Thank you very much. And then you know what I've learned then? It's I've learned that most of successful people in the business world, they don't tell us exactly their struggle to reach where they are.
Right.
So for someone who could himself totally to say, no, I don't belong to that world.
Right.
Because they are not telling us the truth. So I said to myself, no, I will share my story with the world to say, no, guys, whatever the situation you might be, don't undermine yourself.
Right.
My friend, the young boy from the village who was a head boy, right now as I speak to you, I always make a joke out of it that I'm actually sitting on the balcony. I'm staying in upstairs.
Wow.
And this is the guy who was a head boy. And for your own information, in my company, we've got our internal security.
Right.
Okay, no, actually, I was saying, right now at my company, we have got our internal security. I have got personal security. Wow. I have got employees that will salute me in terms of security hierarchy and all that.
Wow.
It's something when you tell people, when people come to our organization, it looks like more like a parastatal because of its order.
Wow.
So I think all goes down to the determination to believing in yourself and to be able to articulate, understand your vision and understand how you can.
Wow. So for me, the most amazing thing, Mr. Marambire, is that how does somebody go to school up to O level and they build a large enterprise with more than 200 employees and there is order in that company? What are the secrets?
The the basic is understanding business rules. Because in every game there are rules. If you have to play chess, there are rules. If you are a medical practitioner, doctor, there are rules.
Wow.
So you need to understand the business rules and try by all means to formalize or to adhere to those rules.
I love
if
that.
If we say as the owner of the company, you are supposed to be on a salary,
yes,
just adhere to that.
Right.
Don't take money as you please from the company. Be on the salary like anyone else. If we say profit and loss account, they are necessary to be presented, let them be done.
Okay.
If we say you need to consider the costs, the running costs of the organization against the income, that needs to be added to, regardless of how educated you are. And now, apart from that, there's a concept of hard working, and there's a concept of willing to do the work.
All right.
That alone will also assist the business to survive, because if the person who is leading the company or the owner of the company is determined and otherwise, and also honest, obviously the company will grow.
Wow.
But I think what are the basic things which I would prefer if we can discuss, which are the fundamentals, like how exactly should one know that is a business person?
All right, let's start from there. That's great.
Because not everyone was born to be a business person. Not everyone was born to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
But for you and me to know that I have got entrepreneur skills, how could one identify that? Because that is more like a self-calling, which one is to understand from him or herself. You know, if you can look around, there are people who are just born as innovators. What they do is to come up with ideas, is to come up with the either new or existing ideas and improve them.
Right.
It's another characteristic of an entrepreneur. And there are other people who are actually feel that they can't work for anyone, like they can't take orders.
All right.
They want to be on top. They want to be instructing people what to do. They want to be implementing ideas.
Right.
To me, that's enough for someone to call himself an entrepreneur.
All right.
Yes. Then if you have got those qualities of dreaming or come with some visions of business, then you are an entrepreneur.
Right.
Most of people, they ask me and say, my brother, tell me, I want to start a business. What would you advise me to start?
Right.
And to me, it's actually a very improper question.
Right.
Because you can't.
I get that question a lot.
Yeah, yes. you can't be told what type of business to do. At least you should come up with a business which you want to do, and then now you are asking on how you can implement your ideas or how you can start that kind of business.
Right.
Because what is important is to come up with an idea. When you come up with an idea, you are supposed to do a proper research.
Right.
To say, okay, if I wanted to start a poultry, I want to keep chickens for meat.
Right.
How many weeks do I need, or how many months do I need to keep my chickens for them to be ready for slaughtering?
Right.
When I have chickens, where I'm going to sell them, where I'm going to get the feed to give them.
Right.
What type of disease I'm likely to come across as I'm in the poultry business.
Right.
And then when my chickens are not well, who do I approach? There's a lot of things you need to research to get what? To get all the information. Then you start operating.
Nice.
So in Africa, I've noticed that people we ignore that aspect. We just want money and start. But what are you starting? How are you going to run your business?
Yeah. Interesting stuff. Thank you so much. So How does it happen, Mr. Marambire, to have to be alone, like you are self-employed, and then you grow to have one employee? I think we have seen many people who have who remain self-employed for the rest of their lives. This guy called Robert Kiyosaki talks of the cash flow quadrant, where he talks of employees, then self-employed, then business owners, then investors. Now you realize that many people, either they are employee for life, some of them are for me, because I deal with people, helping them with the retirement funds and stuff like that, financial wellness. Some people come to me when they are retiring from their job. They have been an employee, their mindset is that of an employee for the rest of their life, for 40 years, for 50 years. Now they are retiring, they are tired. Retiring means you are tired, isn't it? Now, that's the movement. Which business can I do? And they want to use the money for pension to put it into business. And I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, so I think sometimes we get it all wrong when it comes to business. And then you have also some people who are self-employed for the rest of their life. When they are sick, the business is sick. When they die, their business dies. But when I look at you, you have been able to build a business. You moved from being employee, probably at one stage you were self-employed, and now you are a business owner. How does that happen? I think you have already answered in a way, but you could clarify some more things.
No, it's actually a process. What I believe, if a wiser business listens to his business, to the demands of your business. Because if you are a wiser business, as you are running your business, it tells you what to do. The business tells you when it needs more people. The business tells you when it needs its only transport to transport whatever within the company. The business tells you when it needs security. The business tells you if it needs a bigger warehouse or a bigger shop. Why I'm saying so? When we started, we were just two. I was doing the run around of purchasing, ordering, because we started with the hardware. And my brother, who is our first employee, was a shopkeeper. But what we do, or what I did in my mind, I had put a structure of a managing director, a structure of an HR, a structure of an accountant, a structure of a shopkeeper, and a structure of loss control. But at first, all these structures were managed by two. All these structures were managed by two people. You see what I mean? Because the business was small. But we knew very well that we need to, the HR position was in a position to make sure we all have our salaries. And the accounting department was there to make sure that we are doing our accounting system. And it's so funny, but then we didn't use proper names. I remember we started with the forms like bin card. We started with forms like goods receiving. We called GRV. We started with the books like dispatch. I think for every business to survive, you need documentation. That much you cannot ignore it.
That's very important.
So where I'm going with my explanation, if you put those structures as the business grow, you will need people to fill in those positions. So when I was a driver going around with a truck and the business was becoming much, I couldn't be in three places at the same time. So obviously there was a need for us to hire another third person. And then when three people were not enough to cover all the positions and structures in the organization, we needed to hire a fourth person, just like that, until we were, by 2013, because we started operating in 2011. By 2012, we were already about 22 employees. So now, for an organization which is well established, obviously, you need qualified people for whatever particular job. I started giving an example of a small. I started giving an example of a small business, which can be run, which can be run with two people. But now, as you grow, you find out that you need people, qualified people to occupy those positions. Like if you are not doing your accounts, you need a proper accountant. If you are now doing the HR issues, you need a qualified HR.
Right.
If you are now doing, like when you are hiring driver, you need qualified drivers. When you are hiring people for marketing and the sales, you need qualified people for that. So at the end of the day, it will become to be a big company with a good organograph or a good structure. Like ours now, it's now a company with a structure.
Wow.
Which I would say structures we can find in any other corporate organization.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Mr. Marambire. Now, one will be wondering, because I think your story resonates with many of us, right? Way back, from back of beyond, and then you are trying to do things. Now, the language you speak, you talk of structures, you talk of having HR, you talk, and you had Form 4, my brother, but you talk like you have in business. And these things. Did you read books? Did you have mentors? Because we want that other person who is stuck, who has been in business for a long time. They are getting worn down. They are tired. They don't know what to do to make that leap from where they are. What did you do? Did you use mentors? Did you read books? What did you do?
Actually, in my case, because of doing more things at the same time, my time is very limited.
All right.
I remember a friend of mine advised me that can you just do a degree in business studies or something like that. But unfortunately, my time is totally consumed.
Right.
But experience is the best teacher.
Okay.
Why I'm saying experience is the best teacher, as the company was growing, I was engaging people with knowledge, like consultants. And as you are consulting those people, as you are consulting those people, they start helping you to put proper structures now.
Wow.
So we are moving from the bush mechanic to the rail mechanic, where you are now having a privilege to understand. If we are talking of accounts, what are accounts? Because there's a liability to remit some statutory remittance, like tax to the government, like for other insurance and the other ministries which you should be complying with.
That's amazing.
I would say experience is the best teacher, because you learn things as you go.
As you go.
You reach to a certain position. Let's say there's some requirements from a certain ministry which you are supposed to comply with. The moment you engage them or engage a consultant, you will be taught exactly what things must be done.
Right.
And now with the advantage of internet, of the internet, a lot of things you can search.
Yeah, true. Because many business people, I find that it's difficult for them to hire a consultant. They feel like it's a waste of money, but it's interesting to hear from your side that actually making use of consultants made a huge difference for you.
It's not a waste of money. And again, let me also highlight something here.
Right.
You know, it depends when you are running your business. That are you only running a business for food, for hand to mouth purpose, or you want to grow an organization which can even surpass to live even when you are no longer there?
I love that.
That's my vision. You know, that's my vision. As I'm running my organization, I want my organization to exist even without me. So I kept on doing some research because I was asking myself that we don't know Standard Chartered Bank, but it's all over and it's run.
Yes.
You see, we don't know Toyota himself, but Toyota is all over another country and it's running. So I did much research trying to find out that how can you set up a company which can run without the owner's presence.
Wow.
And then I learned that it's all about having structures. It's all about having policies. The policies that will guide each and every employee to know the perimeters and how that employee should operate without asking the director or the owner of the company, say, okay, today I've got this situation, how do I handle it? Because sometimes you won't be there.
Yes.
You see, right now I'm no longer involved in the actual day-to-day running of the company, but I'm overseeing some structures which we put in place. I receive reports weekly. I receive reports sometimes end of day, and then with those reports, it's enough for me to understand if we are shorting in terms of stock, if we need more employees and all that. So we are now working as a team.
Wow.
And I believe that with our general manager, and I'm not around, the company can still survive. Because we've taught each other and we've put down some policies which should govern the company.
Wow. That's amazing.
If there is an employee who misconduct, they don't need me. There are policies which should deal with that. A person an employee who misconduct, how do you deal with that? I don't interfere. It's the HR's job and the general manager's job. And they deal with it accordingly and procedurally. So at the end of the day, every employee, every company, every director, the owner of the company who wants to see his or her business prospering, you should put it in a position where it should run without much of your interference.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. Every person must hear this. Every potential entrepreneur must hear this. Because I mean, there are so many micro entrepreneurs who have been struggling for years and they don't know how to scale up. So,
yeah, no, that's true.
Concerning this, please go ahead.
There's another point which is actually scaring. I also reached that to a level where I was a bit scared. You know, you would see that your company is growing now beyond your, I'd say what, beyond your authority. You feel like it's too much.
All right.
Imagine trying to drive an organization with more than maybe 20 fleets of vehicles, more than, we have got so many assets.
Right.
Some of the assets, you are even afraid that you might lose them. You have got computers, you have got phone call bills, you have got some liabilities which needs to be paid, you have got employees all over around the country. And sometimes you have to ask yourself, how am I going to manage all that? How am I going to manage so that I don't lose money unnecessarily? And how I'm going to manage that to make sure that we keep delivering good service to our clients? Because that's another thing. If the company grows, if you're not careful, you end up failing to deliver quality service to your customers. Right.
Wow. So putting in structures helped you to deal with all those things, right?
It becomes easy to manage.
Right. You know, another thing I was thinking of concerning the characteristics of people who become entrepreneurs, of perseverance.
Yes.
To keep on in the midst of problems, and then resilience, whereby you
don't give up.
You fall down flat on your tummy. Can you rise?
You know what there's a quote I always say. I always say, an entrepreneur shall never run out of options.
Right. They're very
never.
Yes.
Dr. Wilbert.
Yes, sir.
How is the network behaving? The technology part of it?
It's funny. We are persevering. So tell me, we are in COVID-19 right now.
Yes.
Worried. People are being infected by this disease. We don't want to go into the nitty-gritties. The health professionals do those things for us. Obviously, we want to take care of ourselves and stuff like this. But there are serious issues, Mr. Marambire. First of all, we need to get Zimbabwe back to its feet. And this is the job of entrepreneurs.
Yes, you know.
We need to take back children to school after this COVID-19. We need to make things happen. What sort of mindset should an entrepreneur have right now? Should an entrepreneur be waking up and sleeping, looking at news, how many people have died, what, and so on? Or there must be a different mentality for an entrepreneur. There must be things that business leaders are doing right now in preparation for after COVID-19.
That's a very good question. That's a very good question, Dr. Wilbert. You know, I always give people a good example of myself. You know, when a crisis comes either on our company, because every day we come through, we go through serious crisis, which if you might think of, you'd wonder how these people are surviving.
And sorry to disrupt you. Sorry to disrupt you. I know you are a humble man, right? You just told me construction company, but I know that you run more businesses than that. So as you feel free to give us examples from your other businesses as well.
Okay, yes, I will do that. So I wanted to answer to your question of this pandemic, and I wanted to say, you know, it's every entrepreneur at this point of time, you should develop a character, which I was going to describe. Beautiful. You know, when a crisis comes to our organization, because we always experience some difficulties.
Right.
It's normal as a human being to panic.
Yes, true.
But let me tell you one thing, how I respond to some crisis.
Right.
I can panic like any other person, but that panic should not go for over 5 seconds.
Right.
You know what I said? 5 seconds. If anything happens, like anyone, I can panic. But 5 seconds from the incidents, I'm starting working on solutions.
Wow, wow, that's entrepreneurial.
Yes, I don't sit down, feel sorry for myself, and wait for sympathy from people. Definitely, I know that character. So if a crisis happens, right? Yes, we all go into panic mode. Wow, what's this? And what's going to happen? Immediately after the panicking, I start thinking of solutions.
Wow.
And the solutions that I think of, I've learned that if you can do something to save human beings, you are the best entrepreneur because you are providing a service which is irresistible.
Wow.
And in my life, I've helped quite a number of people in terms of paying for school fees, assisting in so many things like donations, assisting in funerals as a way of a charity work, like giving back to the communities.
Wow.
So obviously, in a pandemic like this, there are two things to consider. There's a business aspect, and there's an obligation or a duty to help others who are underprivileged.
Wow, wow, wow. Yes.
Because I will not advise entrepreneurs to think about money and money and money only without considering humanitarian.
Thank you so much. It's as if, because sorry to disturb you. It's as if you know that before we came on the show with you right now, or that there is a WhatsApp group where we were discussing as business leaders to say, what are we going to do in terms of donating towards COVID-19? Donating to the government, and then donating towards the Zimbabweans who are stranded.
Yes. Yes.
So I wanted to hear that.
So I wanted also to contribute to that, to say, you know, as a business person, being a business person who has accumulated some wealth, it's a privilege. God has given you that.
Yes.
And when God gives you that, I would encourage other people to use it for the good, use it for the best. So now back to your question. So now back to your question to say, this is the COVID-19, and most of countries, they've locked down. No operations, no anything.
Right.
There's a lot of things which should happen right now as we speak to serious entrepreneurs. In our case, because of this pandemic, we noticed that our nation didn't receive good rainfall. So obviously there's going to be drought.
Right.
We have already engaged our organization into milling, into food industry. Okay. So we started milling. It's called Tash. That's our brand. Tash in our language means overflow.
Overflow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. So apart from doing building material supply, construction, and brick molding, we also understand that as a business, immediately after the lockdown, there's a lot of things which are going to happen, which we cannot ignore. Right. Prices are likely to go up high, and then people are likely to divert their attention from anything else and focus on food.
On food, yes.
It's very possible that people might stop constructing. The construction percentage can go low. Yeah. People might stop buying cars. People might stop buying clothes and all other things, and mainly put their focus on buying food.
That's true.
So as a company, we've already engaged in maize meal milling. We are going to also engage more into packaging, like beans, salt, and we have got matemba from Kariba.
You know what I'm thinking as you are talking?
Yes.
I'm thinking of you having an electric mind. I mean, before the COVID thing came, you were already seeing where the world is going, and you are moving in there. You provide solutions to the country, and at the same time, as a business, you also get money out of that.
Exactly. You know, in one interview, I was asked that you young men, you don't look educated, you don't look smart. Tell me, how do you do it? I said to the person who was interviewing me, you know, God has given me a gift. I think very fast, and I
so
act.
You see, I'm correct. I told you that mind.
Exactly.
Only one saying.
I don't want to lie to you. You know, I think very fast.
Okay.
I think my job is thinking, and when I'm thinking, I think I identify a problem, identify a solution, and then think of a strategic plan, how to implement and how to do it.
Wow.
So, and I won't hesitate to approach anyone when I want something, whether you can be a president, whether you can be a minister, whether you can be whoever. When I want service, I can approach for direction, for guidance, and to be given authority.
Wow. That's amazing.
So it's another part of self-confidence, which we should always have as entrepreneurs. You should have that confidence to say, you know what, if I want this and I'm blocked, I can go further to this place. And if I'm blocked, I can even go to the president and say, no, look, this is my idea. I know my idea can work. What should we do? Wow. We are working around the clock. I will not say much about that we are doing now, but just to highlight to you, we are working on a module which we want to provide food door to door to each and every house, so that we limit the traffic of people coming to town or gathering, buying from supermarkets.
Wow. I love this. Everybody must hear this. Amazing. This is amazing. So your job...
You see, so... Yeah, I think my job is to think.
Okay.
Yeah, you see...
I hope other business leaders are listening to this.
Because, look, I cannot... to the level where I am now, I cannot afford to do nothing.
Right.
I've managed to get the influence a lot of people that might need.
Right.
And I'll use that influence for the good cause. If I want to communicate with people, either other people in the business sector or other people in the position of authority, I can make phone calls and they are willing to listen, to say, okay, what are you saying? Last week, Monday, I was actually talking to one of the cabinet ministers in Zimbabwe, and I was outlining what we were proposing right now. And she actually said, no, there's no problem. Just present the issue through the permanent secretary, and I believe it will be approved. There's a board set aside to approve that. Wow. So it's something which we should use for the good, to benefit the poor people, to benefit those who have no one to speak on their behalf.
Wow, that's amazing, my brother.
It's not everyone who can call the minister and say, I don't have sugar, I don't have milk.
True.
So at least to fit in the gap and say, okay, we are now fit in the gap, speak for the underprivileged and make sure that their voices are heard. I once been in that level, and I know how it feels.
Yeah, yeah. Which means God was actually preparing you so that you are now a business leader. You can remember others. You can put yourself in their shoes. Actually,
I would say so. I cannot dispute that.
Yeah, yeah. One other thing I love about you, say, is you keep on saying, you know, you thank God, it's a privilege, and you are a family man as well. And for those who are watching, guys, please go and follow Mr. Banabas Marambire's Facebook page. You will get amazing stories that are simplistic but very helpful for you in business. So do you have any ideas that you think somebody can work on right now? Maybe somebody has lost their job. Maybe somebody, their business was very tiny and things were not working. Now after COVID-19, maybe nothing is gonna work. Somebody's thinking, what business can I go into? What can I do with my life? Whether they can start right now or they can do it after COVID-19, what would you say people should be doing right now?
The first thing I can say to those who were affected negatively by this pandemic,
right,
is the first step, they should face reality.
Okay.
That, okay, my business was crashed, I have nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But as I said earlier, that in entrepreneur should never ever run out of options.
Right.
If you look around, there are so many avenues which are opening through this pandemic.
Right.
We would not know exactly what will happen when the whole countries will clear to say there's no more virus in the atmosphere. Let's get back to work. But honestly, let's say maybe your business is closed, but you still have got some revenue with you. You can now maybe open a very small cash loan facility to facilitate other businesses to get back at their feet. It's possible.
Right.
Because the business can close, but you still have got money.
Yes.
And to those who have lost employment, it's very unfortunate because in Africa, I doubt if the government will be able to provide for those who have lost employment, particularly in the private sector. But what I can say is, if you lost your job during this pandemic, the first thing also as an employee, accept the reality, adjust and adopt to the situation.
Right.
It's either you have to go back in the market and look for employment again, or otherwise it's a time for you to use your savings and start a business or something of that sort. But whatever you are going to do after the lockdown, please don't rush to implement anything. Do proper research, sleep over it. Depending with your faith, if you're a religious person, pray even to God about that. You know, there are answers which can come after you pray and God start ministering to you. But my advice is don't rush. Do you know there are people who quickly rush? Maybe you're in a foreign country, the company is closed and say, no, I'm going back to my mother country. Or you have been working, staying in town, and then you say, no, since the job is finished, I'm going back to the rural village and all that. It's a situation which needs us to approach with caution.
Okay.
With a very steady mind. Don't panic.
Yeah.
And I believe it's not going to be easy as from now until, I don't know, until when the whole world will be cleared from this COVID virus.
It will take 6 months, 8 months, 12 months, who knows, or even years.
Who knows? Yeah. Exactly.
So we have to be strong.
In case something which people are not thinking about, what if the COVID-19 virus continues for more than a month or more than 21 days?
Yeah. It's most likely.
Have you ever asked yourself that as an entrepreneur, how could you be of use for your own business to survive, for other people also to survive who depend on you? It's like we are all anticipating and waiting to see if things doesn't go our way and we keep on locked in the houses. I even don't know if in the SADC, if our African government are considering that if we keep on locking people in their houses, how will they survive from that?
Yes, true.
You know, it's actually something so scary.
Yeah, it is. People will now die of hunger.
And they go out.
This is because you see, when you have BP, you have sugar diabetes, you have all those diseases, and you are taking tablets, you need to have a full tummy. You need to eat.
Yes.
So it's quite scary. And I hope that entrepreneurs will rise to the occasion and see what to do to try and save people. I'm glad that you are already taking some steps in that direction.
All right. And then, you know, due to exposure, one thing I want to share with you, Dr. Wilbert, I have a privilege when I was in Ghana after our workshop. I took some drive around with some friends in Ghana.
Right.
And I learned something. You know, when you come to SADC, SADC region, we don't take entrepreneurship serious.
Okay.
If you go to Eastern Africa, my brother, I don't want to lie to you. Those people, they are busy with entrepreneurship. You will find someone who has got a master's. They never, degrees and masters, they never cry for employment. Those people are doing their business. They are doing their stuff. And you'd find out that it's half-half. Private sector is performing well, and the government also is performing well. Now you come back to Botswana, Namibia.
Yes, we continue. We are entrepreneurs. We don't give up. Yes,
I'm sorry.
It's fine. Don't worry. So we come back to Southern Africa, and the level of entrepreneurship is not the same. You know, I wrote a paper, actually, a research paper on entrepreneurship where I was comparing Botswana to Ghana. So I really understand what you're talking about.
Yes.
Please go ahead. What should we do?
No, so I was saying we should put together, especially this generation.
Right.
We should put our heads together and try to change the perspective, how our young people sees life, how our young people consider employment. That it's not all about you finish your academic, acquire degrees and masters, and then you start working.
Right. With
that knowledge, you can employ it and do and work for yourself and and run a business. So I don't know exactly how that can be done or how we can achieve that. But maybe as we are doing right now, it's a starting point to start education. And you know what? There's something which I have noticed about us Black people.
Right.
Jealous.
Jealous. Oh.
Do you know that people, they will not tell you exactly how you can do or where you can acquire a license?
Yeah.
Just because they feel like they don't know, they want to do the business alone. I've learned something that you don't need to spend your time worrying about the next person or being jealous, because the money in this world is enough for us all.
Right.
You can never finish money, never.
You can't. It's like yeah.
And if we do away with the spirit of jealous, we can start now encourage partnership.
True. Very true.
Because we lack partnership. We don't have money. Someone would rather go and get a loan, which would be a trouble to pay back, rather than just have someone with finance and do partnership.
That's very true. And you know, talking of that, my brother, that's one of the things I've been pushing for a long time on my YouTube channel, to say, guys, we can unite. Why would we fail to do the same? Go to the Middle East, go to Asia, go to Nigeria. Nigerians are very good at working together. Why wouldn't we have that all over Africa?
Yes.
Thinking of where we can begin. Obviously, talking about it like this is a great platform. And then I think we also need to influence national leaders to put policies in place that promote entrepreneurship. I know they are already doing something, but they could do more.
Yes. You know, with my experience now, when it comes to governance of different countries, the problem is, you know, politics and business doesn't mix.
They don't, eh? They don't.
Politics.
True.
Politics.
If you want to do business, do business. If you want to do politics, do politics.
If you want to do politics, do politics. And then if you want to do business.
True.
So I really thank you, Dr. Wilbert, for platforms like this, which I believe so many people watch and learn. Yes. And then maybe, I don't know how it can be implemented to have an after interview sort of interaction to say, okay, people have seen something which we discussed and they want to know more, how we can keep on assisting them, how we can keep on motivating them and all that.
I really love that. See? You can see my smile is growing. Because we are here to help. Do you know, you were talking about people being jealous and not wanting to help others. Do you know there are people who think by doing these interviews that I do, I'm getting something out of it? Some people can't just have it in your heart to say, how can we make things better? Like right now, this COVID-19, I was talking to my family. I've lined up interviews day after day until Wednesday next week, and I'm still looking for more people. And some people are still looking for me so that we interview more people. Imagine, my brother, that there are people who have lost jobs right now. You know it,
yes,
as a man, generally as a man,
yes,
in some homes, even women, they are breadwinners, isn't it? In some homes,
yes,
and their wife, both of them, they work together to put money. When you lose your source of employment, you lose your source of income, maybe your business has folded up. What's next? There are people right now who don't have money for rent. They don't have income. They don't know how their children will go back to school. So it gives me so much joy if I can just cause one man or one woman, one family to smile and say, there is hope for us. That's what excites me.
I'm very humbled, man.
Yeah.
I'm very humbled. And please, if we would have more people like you in this world, I believe we would be able to do away with poverty. Because
I'm telling you,
this is no longer about self-benefit or self-gain.
yeah.
Imagine right now you sacrifice your time. Obviously, you're using data or whatever. You could be using this time for other things. Even myself, I could be using this other things.
You could be doing other things right now.
Pushing, yes, but we said no.
Yeah.
As you approached me, I said, no, it's okay. Let us try to talk to our peers, try to talk to our friends and the relatives and family there to say, okay, guys, we have got this situation. How do we join hands and how can we fight it? How can we revive our economy after this pandemic?
Without blaming anyone.
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what? People, they always have got a say that I'm too small and the world is too big.
Right.
And in response to that, I always say, you know what? Of course, you cannot change the world, but you can actually change one person's world.
1% at a time.
You know, there's an example which I was given by a friend who is actually there in Botswana when we were youth at church.
Okay.
He said there were two friends who were walking on a seashore.
Okay.
So there was a big wave which came and threw out a lot of fish out of the water.
Okay.
And then they were talking, they said, no, let us help these fish back in the water. Oh. And another friend said, no, we can't, these fish are too much, so it won't make any difference.
Right.
And the friend who suggested started picking some fish and throwing back in the ocean. And they said, if I can only help this one, he picked one and throw in the water, and pick another one, and pick another one. By the time he finished the statement, he had already picked more than 20 fish.
Wow.
So it's not about changing the world alone, but in our small communities. Don't mind that people that don't identify me. Don't mind that Dr. Wilbert is not interviewing me on his platform. Don't even mind that the government is not recognizing me.
Yes.
Do this for the sake of assisting in every small way in your community.
Thank you, my brother. We should imagine. That's why Mother Teresa said, just feed one person.
Yes.
How many people are in Botswana? How many people are in Zimbabwe? If one person can feed one person, we won't have poverty.
We don't have poverty, yes.
The problem is we have people who are greedy, who want everything for themselves. And it's not our right to judge them. But what we are saying is for those who have that heart to say, you know, even to have a voice, it's a privilege.
Yes.
To have good to have
Definitely.
It's a privilege from God. To have a job, to have a business, to have money, to have a sound mind. That's scary, actually.
Yes.
The next thing people are saying, Mutoko is intelligent or Marambire is intelligent. If not for God protecting these minds to be intact, my brother.
Yes.
It's only the grace. So
yes.
to hope that we will have more people that are willing to assist others. You know, the world has become so bad that when they hear Mr. Marambire saying, you see, we are donating, like I was reading your interesting article where you were saying you give water to people in the locality of your business to an extent where you have closed for COVID-19, but you left a security guard there to make sure people are getting water. Now, to somebody, I get excited. Woo, this is exciting. I want to do more also, you know. But another person, because they have seen too much evil. They're just thinking, maybe there's a catch somewhere.
Exactly.
There's always suspicion. What I would like to say to people like you, my brother, and some good people out there, when you do good, do it as if you are doing to God. Because all of us, whatever we have is not ours. One day we shall be asked. And the Bible says, to whom much has been given, much shall be demanded. So stop comparing yourself to anyone. Do what you believe God has sent you to do. Help as many people as possible. Majority of the people we help do not appreciate. Don't worry.
Exactly. You know what I wanted to say. When I give either to people or the community,
right,
I don't do it for personal glory.
Right.
Because if you do so and people don't acknowledge you, you go to disappointed and you can stop the good work.
You'll be angry.
In most cases, when I assist, I don't want to have the interaction with the people who I assisted.
Right.
One day I went to present a proposal to the town council. And as I was in the office of the council chamber secretary,
right,
I found out that in his secretary room, there was this lady who was there narrating his story. I didn't catch the story properly, but she was dropping tears. You know, I then got, she got my attention and I asked why was she crying. And the secretary told me that, no, she's pleading the council for a peace job because his son cannot be admitted at the college. The son didn't pay the fees. You know, I quickly just say, you know what, my sister, don't worry, give me the number of the principal and I will forward the money for the fees.
Wow.
She jumped, cried, she hugged me. I ended up writing about the story on my Facebook page. And she said, please, can I have your number? You know what? I didn't give her my number.
Right.
Because I didn't do it for her to thank me.
Right.
If I'm going to receive a reward, my reward will not come from people. It will come from God.
It comes from above.
So I think that is the attitude people should develop, that when you are giving, don't give for people to thank you, because if they will not thank you, my brother, you become very angry.
And 98% of the time they don't thank you.
That you see there's a need.
Yeah, definitely. You can only, if we can have entrepreneurs that have that kind of heart, like the way you were saying that we are in COVID-19 right now, you are strategizing what are we going to do when we are done. Or probably for some entrepreneurs, I'm encouraging them that right now is the right time to go online. If you were not online, start running some things online, start doing marketing online, start selling online, start advertising online. Have a website, have a blog, whatever it is that you can do. And then apart from that, like you are saying, we should not just be thinking about making money. We should be thinking of giving. It's a time to somebody who doesn't have a meal and they are locked down then they are your next door neighbor. Huh?
And you are eating.
Your neighbor died during COVID-19 out of hunger and you had food to throw in.
It's very possible. You know what happened on day 6? I figured out that our employees, we gave them salary towards the lockdown date.
Right.
And as I was talking with a friend who is a regional manager for a certain food supplier,
right,
he mentioned that they got millionaire, which they are selling at a low price because the government is subsidized. I requested to buy a ton. And they gave me that permission. I bought a ton of maize meal. I had to leave the comfort of my zone, the comfort home, and drive in that dangerous environment where there's COVID to deliver that meal to the employees. And they were so very happy and grateful.
Wow. Your team is privileged to have you.
So it's about not being selfish. We understand as we grow, we go through some difficulties. We suffer. It's not an easy job, but you can't sit on the top level there and say, because I suffered, maybe no one assisted me. Everyone should go through the same. No, I think it's just a lesson you go through to mold you to be a better person. Right now, if we are talking of the pain of sleeping with an empty stomach, I know how it feels. Because several times we slept without eating.
Right.
You see, if you talk to me about unemployment, I know exactly how it feels. There's a time when I didn't. For me to end up working as a head boy, it's a sign of desperate for job.
Definitely.
You see, so I think that was a training God took me through so that I can understand all levels of life. Right now, when we are talking with others about booking a flight, I know the experience of flying around.
Right.
If we are talking of sleeping in hotels and those 5-star hotels, I know the experience of sleeping there. And I've managed to live in all the phases of life, which is bad and good.
Right.
So at the end of the day, it brings glory to God to say, okay, no, at least God, here I am, and I'm here to save you.
That's
so,
amazing.
Dr. Wilbert, I would say, please don't be discouraged. And as you keep on interviewing other people, now we've talked, we've got each other's contacts. Wherever you feel you need our assistance, either in facilitating workshops, either in motivating other people who are into business, this is the time for us to unite and continue carry on such kind of.
I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful. Now, probably the last thing I would want my audience to hear, you have told me before, and I've read from your Facebook page, and I've seen how very creative you are in simple ways, very creative and innovative. In the construction industry, you have done some amazing things, and now you have touched quite a lot of places all over Zimbabwe. Could there be some bits of creativity and innovation that you want to encourage people as we close for today?
Okay. I would say in every business that you do, try to be unique. There's competition out there. Always try to beat your competitor. Your competitor is not an enemy, but your competitor should encourage you to develop something unique. When we started our construction construction company, we knew there were other big construction companies in the country. If you, for your own information, we even crossed to countries like Botswana, where we also build the houses there. We have got our company registered in Botswana. As soon as COVID-19 shut down, we are coming there full force to employ Botswana, we build for Botswana.
That's amazing.
So
that's amazing.
We were so unique in a way that we provided a credit facility, which is more like a mortgage, but the requirements were so simple. You stand, that is your plot, a place where you are intending to build. A proof of ownership and paperwork, if that is in place, the nature of job you are doing or your source of income. Then with that requirements, we could build for you. So that was a unique strategy of which never people has ever tried it. And we brought it in the market and people, they welcome. And we're actually offering what we call, even now we are offering what we call fix and supply, which means you give us your house, you give us a job to build your house. You don't need to worry about the donkey work. We provide the river sand, cement, bricks, labor, roofing material, plastering, plumbing, everything. Only what you do is to give you the key. And it's a credit facility where you finish paying while it's already staying in your house. So it was it's a product that was welcome in the market, and most people, they loved it.
This is amazing. Again, you can see that I think it goes on to show that the business leader coins the culture of the organization. What is in the heart of the leader is what ends up happening in the organization, because I'm sure you didn't just do it. You did it because you saw that some people have a plot or they have a stand, they want to build, they don't have the resources, or they don't have the time to run around and buy all those things. Now you get such a credit facility at no interest. I'm telling you, that's a very, very unique heart to find.
You're actually interpreting what happened, because in Zimbabwe we realized that most of people had stands, a piece of land in urban setup. So it was the right thing to do. And with the structure of our organization, that we have got hardware outlets, we've got brick molding, we've got window film manufacturing, we've got events manufacturing. So most of the resources were coming from, you see, it was easy. And when we are, I think sometime, if we can have time, let us talk about diversifying or growing a business or expanding, because all those were ways of expanding. Because we started as a hardware, then we do brick molding. From brick molding, we go into
Yes, you were talking about diversifying. I don't know now. Maybe I'm taking too much of your time. Is it something
I was saying
today, or we can do it?
I was saying if we can have time, we would do. Otherwise, discuss on the issue of diversifying in business expansion. That once you establish a business, how do you expand? If there's a room to diversify, how do you diversify? And what are the things to consider? Because I was saying, we've got 3 companies, that is brick molding, hardware, and construction, but they benefit each other. Even the clients, they are so able to buy everything under one roof.
Oh, I see. Awesome stuff. No, we will. I hope you will be able to create some more time so that we can talk again. And then you also run a private school, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, a private school, we are doing it in partnership. I have got a partner.
I see.
We are running a private college, Great Deck AB Academy. He actually approached me and said, there's an opportunity there. Are you not willing to invest in that?
All right.
I think that's where it goes to the principle of managing, diversifying. To make sure that the existing business, they are not affected by the funds we are taking to put on the school.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yes. And we are also doing solar energy. We've got a company called Light Planet Solution, where we are providing solars, inverters, and batteries.
Wow.
Again, this has come after we were experiencing power cuts. So you can see that every business opportunity is coming after we identify a problem. And we try to resolve that problem with a solution that gives us business.
Wow. That's amazing. Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you, Mr. Banabas Marambire. I really appreciate your time, and I'm sure the audience will definitely appreciate your time. We are going to make sure that this video goes all over the world. We will try our best to make sure, if possible, everybody in Africa should hear this, and they should be to grow their businesses.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you.